President Bola Tinubu on Thursday appealed to all candidates participating in the November 11 governorship election in Bayelsa, Imo, and Kogi State, as well as the electorate, to ensure free and fair elections. The president made the appeal in Abuja during the presentation of the All Progressive Congress flags to the standard bearers in the upcoming elections. According to a statement signed by Special Advisor on Media and Publicity, Ajuri Ngilali, Tinubu presented the party's flag to Timi Sylvia for Bayelsa State, Governor Hope Uzodinma of Imo State, who is seeking a second term in office, and Ahmed Ododo for Kogi State. The president expressed optimism about the ruling party's chances of victory in the off-season election, noting the hard work and records of the candidates as well as the collective efforts of party officials, members of the APC National Working Committee and the APC National Chairman, Dr. Abdullahi Danduje. He said the collective effort of the party men were factors inspiring his optimism in the forthcoming elections. The Court of Appeal in Abuja has affirmed the elections of Senator Ali Ndume representing Borno South and Kaka Lawal representing Borno Central. The three-member panel headed by Justice Biobili George Will held the two appeals against the lawmakers lacked merit. The Independent National Electoral Commission had declared the duo of the Ndume and Lawal as the winners of the National Assembly elections in the respective senatorial districts. Dissatisfied with the declaration, Mohammed Komalier and the People's Democratic Party challenged the election of the Lawal, while Kudla Tumari and PDP filed a petition against Ndume at the State Election Tribunal. Delivering the judgment, the Court of Appeal upheld the submissions of their lawyers, Yusuf Ali and Marcel Oru, all senior advocates of Nigeria, stating that the two appeals challenging the senators' elections lacked merit. Imo State Governor Hope Uzodinma on Thursday shed light on the crisis rocking the Nigerian Labour Congress in his state. He blamed it on NLC President Joe Ajaero, who is accused of mixing partisanship with labor affairs. The governor spoke on the crisis during an interview with State House reporters in Abuja after receiving the ruling All Progressive Congress flag from President Bola Ahmed Tinubu as candidate in the November 11 poll. Ajaero was in Owerri on Wednesday to mobilize workers for a shutdown of Imo over workers' welfare. Uzodinma accused Ajaero of being unable to distinguish his role as a national labor leader and being a partisan Imo State indigene. Human rights lawyer and senior advocate of Nigeria, Femi Falana, has faulted the police account on the controversial arrest of the Nigerian Labour Congress President Joe Ajaero. Ajaero was picked up from the Imo Council Secretariat of the NLC in Owerri on Wednesday by heavily armed police officers. While the labor leaders accused the Imo State Police Command of arresting and brutalizing Ajaero in Owerri, the police authorities said the NLC chief was placed in protective custody, citing safety concerns. However, in a statement on Thursday, the senior lawyer said the version of the story as presented by the police is full of loopholes. Falana specifically asked the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Igbetukun, to investigate and ensure the prosecution of the police personnel who brutalized Ajaero. Justice O. Adeniji of the High Court in the Federal Capital Territory Abuja on Thursday ordered the immediate and unconditional release of the immediate past governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Godwin Emefiele, from the custody of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission. The judge gave the order following a motion ex parte taken before him by Emefiele's legal team. Listed as defendants in the suit are the federal government of Nigeria, the Attorney General of the Federation, the EFCC, and its chairman, Ola Olukoyede. Ruling on the application, Justice Adeniji said the third and fourth respondents are hereby ordered to unconditionally release the applicant from detention forthwith, or in the alternative produce him in court on the date fixed for hearing of the substantive motion or notice for purposes of being admitted to bail by the court. The EFCC arrested Emefiele on October 27th, immediately after he was released from the custody of the Department of State Services, where he has been kept since June 10th. The Supreme Court has fixed January 26, 2024 for judgment in the appeal by a former member of the House of Representatives, Farouk Lawal, who is presently in jail. A 5-man panel led by Justice John Okoro chose the date after the lawyers to parties made their final submission and adopted their written briefs. Lawal's appeal is seeking to set aside the February 24, 2022 judgment of the Court of Appeal in Abuja, which sentenced him to a 5-year jail term and discharged him on 2 out of the 3 counts on the corruption charge brought against him by the federal government. Although he was his motion for bail pending the determination of the appeal that was listed for hearing, the court elected to take the main appeal rather than dissipating energy on the interlocutory application when the appeal was on its own ripe for hearing. While judging the courts to take first the bail application, his counsel and senior advocate of Nigeria, Joseph Daudu, said his client's health was threatened. Lawal was convicted by a High Court of the Federal Capital Territory on June 24, 2021 on a 3-count charge of soliciting a bribe, agreeing to accept the bribe, and actually accepting a $500,000 bribe from businessman Femi Otedola. The House of Representatives on Thursday said declaring a state of emergency on malaria could be a step in the right direction given the spate of the bacterial disease across the country. To this end, the House called on the federal government to subsidize malaria drugs if it cannot make them free at all government-owned health centers for the benefits of Nigerians. Speaking at the inaugural meeting of the Committee on HIV and AIDS, Tuberculosis and Malaria Control on Thursday, the chairman of the committee, Amobi Oga, said despite the rate of infection of malaria, most Nigerians could not access drugs because the drugs were quite expensive. The lawmaker also promised that the committee would do everything possible to rid the country of substandard and fake malaria drugs by stipulating appropriate sanction for those producing them. He maintained that the committee would take a look at the cooperation and processes of the Global Fund in relation to intervention in the fight against HIV and AIDS.